everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Christopher David Lawson of NEPA, and today I'm getting ready to do my first oil change on my 2022 Ford Maverick. I have approximately 6,000 miles on it. Ford recommends 10, but I don't like that. I usually like to do 5 to 6,000 miles. What you're going to need for this project, you're going to need, it takes 5.5 quarts of oil, so you're going to need 530 synthetic oil. You're going to need your filter. You're going to need a 15mm socket and wrench for the drain pan bolt. You're going to need a T30 Torx because you have to remove a panel underneath to get to the drain pan and the filter. I always recommend using gloves just to keep your hands clean. And of course, you got to have your funnel for putting the oil back in, a pan to drain it into, and whatever type of wrench you prefer to use to take the filter off. This is actually the first time I'm doing the oil change, so I'm not sure which one will be better for this job. I also like to run some kind of cleaner through the tank every time I do an oil change. I got a deal on 6 of these from Amazon, the 104 octane boost. We're going to do that at the end of the oil change. All right, folks, this isn't the easiest thing to show you on camera, crawling underneath here. You can use a regular T30 with a on a screwdriver bit, but I'm actually going to use my drill just to make it a little easier. Since I got 14 of these to take off, actually that comes out pretty easy. Make sure you don't lose any of these. I will go ahead and take these out. I'm not going to show you me pulling every single one of them out just because that's going to make the video take too long. I actually think this would have been much easier if Ford would have just put an access panel on this. I know my Kia Sportage that I used to do my oil changes on, that they had an access panel underneath the drain plug and where the filter came out, and that just held in with like 3 screws or bolts or whatever on that. So that would have been much easier, Ford. You just made this more of a pain in the butt. All right, I got all the bolts out. Right here, this piece actually clips in underneath the front part here, and you're gonna push that back and that should just slide forward and come right off. All right, folks, don't mind the train noise. It's always noisy here in Northeast. There's your filter, real easy to get to now, especially now that you're up on the ramps. There's your 15mm plug. I'm gonna go ahead and put the pan underneath, and we're gonna go ahead and drain the oil out now. $15mm, just like I thought. Make sure you don't lose your crush washer either, folks. There's a crush washer right here. You might want to take a screwdriver, make sure you don't lose it. It's usually a good idea to replace those too, but I didn't get one. So, and always make sure your pan's in the right spot for the oil to drain out. That's 6,000 miles. That's pretty dark. I don't think I'd want to ever do 10,000 mile oil change. All right, folks, I tightened the drain pan bolt back in there. You don't need to torque that too much. Remember, you don't want to strip that out, and then you'll run into all kinds of problems. I'm going to change the filter now. Ford's got it cranked on there pretty good. So this would actually be easier if you had the cup style of filter tool. But right now I'm trying to crank on this thing to get it loose. And it's there. I got it loose. I've been cranking on this thing for a couple minutes. I don't know what kind of robots they had putting these things on, but that was a real pain in the ass to get that to bust loose. They say, well, go ahead and pull that out. Oop, I'm making a mess already. Make sure your pan's in the right area too. Always make sure your gasket comes off there too. On this vehicle, it's pretty easy to see the where it screws onto the oil filter thingy. Sorry, I'm calling it a thingy, but I've had in the past on an old Ranger that actually got stuck on there, and I didn't pay attention to it when I did the oil change. And when you got 2 gaskets, it just shoots oil everywhere. Just some food for thought as I'm draining this out. Most of that's already drained out. We're gonna go ahead. I like to take the new filter and put a little bit of oil on the gasket of the new filter. I put the old filter, of course, back in the box this came out of. Put a little bit of oil on the threads too, just to get it on there easier. And just take it by hand. You really don't need to tighten these filters down too much. You know, some of you probably watching this have done your own oil changes in the past, and you know, you don't really need to crank the filter on there that hard. You're just making it more difficult for yourself the next time you do the oil change. That's on there, and then of course I'll end up taking the wrench and snugging that down just a little bit, and then we'll start putting the bottom back together. Actually, folks, before I go ahead and put the bottom piece back on, I'm gonna go ahead and put the oil in, and I'll let the truck run a little bit. I figure if I put the cover on too soon, I won't see if I got any leaks or anything under there. So I'm going to go ahead. This takes 5.5 quarts, which is kind of a pain, but we'll go ahead and take our time. We'll get the oil dumped in there, and then we'll go ahead and start the truck up, make sure there's no leaks. As long as we're close to 5.5 quarts, we're all right. You definitely don't want to put too much in there. See, I'm about halfway. So out of 32 ounces, I'm at the 16 ounce mark. So this will be good for the next oil change in about 3 months or 6,000 miles. All right, folks, I didn't have any leaks. I'm going to go ahead, before we put the bottom back on, I'm going to show you, you got to reset your oil life. So go ahead and you got to go to the settings menu, which is right here with the gears. You hit the menu button when you're there. Information, display, driver assistant, vehicle settings is what you're going to see, my key. The only one you got to worry about is information. Click OK on information. You'll see tire pressure, oil life, and trailer light status. And of course, it's already on oil life. Click OK. It says reset oil life. Oops. Reset oil life. Hold the OK to reset oil life. Oil life reset successful, 100%. All right, folks, I'm going to try and show you real quick. It's hard to show you how to do this being underneath here. Obviously, if you had this up on a lift, it'd be a lot easier. But to put your cover back on, there's a tab right here. You can see where this thing is, this little air vent or whatever. There's a tab right here. Slide that piece up there, and of course it'll hold itself because you got a tab there on the front and a tab there. And then all you got to do is just line all the holes back up and put all your 14, hopefully you still got 14 T30 Torx screws in there. I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, folks, hopefully that helped you out. Don't be intimidated by doing your own oil changes. It's a hell of a lot cheaper. Me buying my own oil and filters, I spent less than 30 bucks on this job. I mean, you're going to go to the dealership. If you're not using your Ford Pass points or whatever, they're going to charge you probably 50 or 60 bucks nowadays for a synthetic oil change. You can do it yourself. Just keep all the receipts and everything handy so you have proof that you did it in case you need to worry about your warranty on the engine for some reason. But thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to click on the like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to do more Maverick videos soon. Of course, I got motorcycle stuff too. I do all kinds of content, trust me. If you're looking into something, I probably do it. But if there's anything you want me to do with the Maverick, leave me a message in the comments below. Bye for now.